to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you're listening to episode 121, Working with Recruiters. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the show. And I feel like, to me, I haven't recorded in a while. I think it's been about a month, which is a long time for me. I feel a little rusty, like I haven't done this process. So I've just been focused on other things. I had family come and stay with us in April and took some time off. So maybe my mind has just been somewhere else, but I'm back and I'm doing well, and it's finally warming up here in Virginia. We had a freak snowfall, which didn't make anybody happy, I don't think. It was like mid or almost late April. So crazy for us. So I really hope that is the last one. I am a warm weather kind of gal, and it's just April's a weird month in Virginia. If you live in this area, you know the weather's very confused, but things are going well. Business is going strong. I hope you're doing well as also, and this is a good time to be looking for a job. I say it a lot, but because it's true. We had several more client successes just in the last couple of weeks, 50 plus clients landing new jobs. I love sending out those gift baskets when I can to clients that get new jobs. So there have been several of those, and I have a good feeling, spring is here. Hopefully things are getting better wherever you are. So let's dive into our topic. We're going to talk today about recruiters, and I really don't know why I haven't talked about this subject more in depth. I was thinking about our topics, and I don't think I've really done a show dedicated to the recruitment process and how to work with recruiters, and I get so many questions in coaching sessions on this topic. So I don't know what took me so long, but here I am. And, some of you guys may know too, I've been a recruiter myself. I've been a hiring manager. I've been in HR. I've been on every side of that table. My whole career has been built upon helping people get jobs. And it probably always will be to some degree. That is what I love, and that is my life's work. But that means I know what it's like to be hiring. I also know, of course, what it's like to be a job seeker. I know both sides of that coin very, very well. And I know that it's often a complicated relationship that job seekers have with recruiters. It's a bit of a love-hate going on, and a lot of misunderstanding too. I know I read dozens of posts on LinkedIn from frustrated job seekers, and you probably do too, bashing recruiters, for this and that, and they ghosted me, and they said I was qualified, and then I never heard back, and all of this stuff. And I understand that, believe me, okay? I work with job seekers for a living, and I was one for pretty much the entire decade of my 20s. So I understand the frustration, but I also know what's going on the other side, okay? My intention and hope today is to bring these two sides together a little bit and bridge the gap so that there is more understanding from both sides of what is going on in the mind of a job seeker and in the workload of a recruiter as well. But truly, at the end of the day, now that I'm out of the corporate world, my loyalty lies with you, the job hunter, not the companies anymore. And that's the way I like it. So I am going to really focus on you, the job seeker, and how you can approach this relationship with recruiters in a more constructive way so that you can get more out of that relationship. All right. I want you to better understand the role that recruiters play so that you can work with them positively and constructively in your search. Does that sound good? All right. So let's start out with 3 basic rules for interacting with recruiters. And some of this is just kind of perspective that you need to have so that you're approaching things correctly. But number one, understand that there's more than one type of recruiter. So working with an agency recruiter, for example, will give you a different experience than working with what we call an in-house recruiter who works directly for the company. Agency recruiters work on commission typically and might be a little bit more motivated to push it through the process than an in-house recruiter who likely, although it's possible they might work on commission, probably does not, or at least not as heavily. They probably get a base salary in there and maybe some bonuses or something like that. So an agency recruiter might be more likely to coach you a little bit and help you with your resume, or in the case of my job searching days, outright just change your resume sometimes and change your job titles and take some liberties to make you look a little bit more competitive and aligned with the job. And that can even be a point of frustration because sometimes it happens that they will go in there and chop things up and change your job titles and all of these things. And job seekers actually don't like it sometimes. So, I understand they're trying to kind of help you through the process a little bit. They're representing you essentially. So that is something you will not see with an in-house recruiter who works exclusively and directly for that company. There's really not as much reason for them to do that or expectation. It's just, it really depends on how they get paid. I have to tell you, how a recruiter gets paid matters because that's going to affect their interactions with you and the type of experience that you have and what the process looks like. So it does make a difference understanding the different types of recruiters out there. And even with agencies, it's also important to know that there can be two types of agency recruiters, contingency and retained. So a contingency recruiter is typically not exclusive and commission only. A retained recruiter is going to be exclusive, likely to that company, and probably receive some kind of salary or retainer as a result. So all of these things are good context for you to understand. All right. Number two, recruiters don't work for you. And I know you know that, but I need to emphasize it again because it's very true. And I know it's hard to be patient when you need a job quickly. And many candidates, I think, put a little too much hope in recruiters, even though it is an effective strategy for a lot of people, thinking that they will get them a job. And they get all disillusioned when that recruiter does not get them a job. So it does happen that people get jobs through recruiters. It has happened to me twice. It happens, and they are a good thing, and they should be one strategy in your job search. But there is no silver bullet typically in any job search. So don't over-rely on recruiters or any one strategy for that matter. At the end of the day, it is the recruiter's job to fill the position with the best candidate, which may or may not be you. Okay? So also their performance, keep in mind, is often sometimes graded on retention. So they want to find the right candidate. All right, that does matter. They may not get their full commission until after you stay at least 90 days or even 6 months sometimes. So that's a good thing because there is some incentive there for them to push you through the process, but yet also make sure you are the right person. I think there's a good balance in there. And believe me, I have learned this lesson in my days of being unemployed and job searching. I have gotten the whole "we work for the company, not you" speech from recruiters. So I know this all too well. Okay. All right. A third basic rule is there is a human factor to working with recruiters. And this is good and bad, right? People can be helpful and people can be a hindrance as well. So I think one terrific benefit of working with a recruiter is the fact that they are a person, and we're constantly trying to humanize the job search. In the digital world of online applications, it is really important that you avoid the online black hole and humanize the job search again. And recruiters are a way to do that. Establishing a relationship with them, which sometimes needs to be a little bit long-term, but sometimes it can happen quickly in the short term, is a good strategy for doing that. All right. You've got a better shot at actually getting some feedback on your candidacy when you work with a recruiter versus simply applying online and just hoping somebody will get in touch with you. And there's no limit to how many recruiters you can add to your network and reach out to. The more connections you make, the better. But as I said, relying on any one person or strategy in your job search never works. So cast a wide net. Okay. So, and like I said, it can be good and bad, this human factor. The good news is it humanizes the job search. There's a better chance that you're going to get feedback. You have a point of contact that you can at least reach out to. But then, of course, the downside is they're human, right? They get busy. They make mistakes. They may or may not get back to you. They're imperfect beings, and we have to manage our expectations as such, right? So that should get us started. There's 3 basic rules just to kind of help you get your mindset and expectations straight about how recruiters work. And this is something that I talk even more in depth to my clients when we do coaching, because, we actually will have a service, which I'll tell you about later, where we connect you to the recruiters also. So I do believe that they are a good resource. Hell, I've been one, right? So of course, I'm going to advocate that you go work with recruiters. I just want you to use it as one of several job search strategies. All right. So we got a little natural stopping point right there. Let's take a quick commercial break, but there's plenty more. When we come back, I'm actually going to give you kind of a lightning round list of do's and don'ts, very specific items that you can keep in mind and act on in order to work with recruiters better in your job search. Okay, so more do's and don'ts with working with recruiters coming at you. All right, we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're on a break for a minute, and I want to tell you about something exciting going on at careeruprising.com. I have an online store that I created just for you. It has a variety of low-cost resources that will give you the boost that you need in your career. And they offer a great introduction to what it would be like to coach with me. I've got ebooks, meditations, and other resources for you to take advantage of and start getting help today. These products are instantly downloadable, priced incredibly low, and cover many aspects of career transitions. Head on over now to the store while you're listening to the show. It's at careeruprising.com/store. That's careeruprising.com/store. Now let's get back to the show. And we are back. And so speaking of recruiters, my team and I actually have an amazing new service that actually connects you right to thousands of recruiters in your field. It's a resume distribution service, and we just unveiled this a couple of months ago in the fall of 2021, and it's been working really, really well. What it does is it takes your new resume and cover letter that we wrote for you and actually creates an email campaign to get you out in front of recruiters in your targeted field. You get to funnel it down a little bit and tell us what positions and what industries you're most interested in. And it's been successful at generating interest and phone screens, and for a lot of our clients, really kind of jumpstarting their job search a little bit, because I'm always trying to think of ways to make the program better and more effective. And of course, saving you a tremendous amount of time and writing your resume is huge for a lot of people. But then the next step is actually helping to get you out there and using that resume. So I love that we have a way now to do that. So plus, as an added bonus, once the email goes out, you get the full list of all the recruiters with their contact information that it went to. So you have that information forever. You're basically walking away with a big spreadsheet full of names and contact information for recruiters that could help you again, possibly in the future. It's incredibly valuable. So you have to go through the resume writing program to get that, because we got to make sure that the resume is good that we're putting out there. So I would love to work with you on that if that sounds like something that would help you. And it's pretty relevant to what we're talking about today. I mean, it's a way to get out there and leverage recruiters in your search, and all the work is done for you. There's literally no effort on your part. We do it all. Awesome. But I will say too, as somebody who has recruited and worked alongside many other recruiters, I can assure you of this. Recruiters absolutely would love to help you and answer every single email that you send them, but they just can't. At a large firm, especially, one recruiter could easily have 100 open requisitions under their name. So the bottom line is they are busy and they are doing the best they can, just as you are. They're just people, just like the job seeker. So we have to remember that, all right? Recruiters do play a pivotal role in a job seeker's future. They really can. It's the hiring manager that makes the final decision, of course, but the recruiter's kind of the gatekeeper sometimes, who can block or advance people. So we really have to treat our communications and our relationship with them just as good, just as important as it is with the hiring manager. So I think it's also important to remember too, and this is a limitation, I understand, but that recruiters don't always know all the details of every job that they're recruiting for. They understand it at a high level, and especially if it's a technical role, that's even more true. They may not have a lot more than what you see in the job description. Maybe they do. Every company is a little bit different in their processes and how much information is shared with recruiters, but sometimes it is a bit surface level. And I know that's frustrating for you as the job seeker, but again, if they have so many requisitions, how can they possibly know each one of those jobs inside and out? And they are just the gatekeeper. They are not the decision maker. So they don't really need to know in depth every job. So I think we need to kind of take that expectation away and just understand that they are just one step in the process, definitely. All right. So as promised, here are some do's and don'ts to help you improve your experience and the results that you get when working with recruiters. So in general, here are some things that a recruiter can do for you. They can give you access to hidden jobs before they're broadcasted to the world. And that's because if they don't organically find you and bring you to the hiring manager, if you applied already, for example, on the company's website, they can't represent you and they don't get paid because it makes sense, right? The company is paying this agency all this money, thousands of dollars, to bring them candidates that they couldn't find somewhere else themselves. So if you apply somewhere else outside the agency, they can't represent you. So that's often why they don't say who the company is or don't post it on a job board. It's hidden, and it's hidden on purpose because they want you to work through them. So recruiters can give you access to the hidden job market. They can also give you more in-depth knowledge about an opportunity and company than you might be able to gain on your own. If all you have is a job description, that's probably not a realistic preview of what the job actually is. Having the opportunity to speak to a recruiter can take it to the next level. They sometimes also can coach you and sell you a little bit on what to focus on in an interview and give you tips about how to be successful. They can help you manage the process, scheduling interviews, help you with negotiating, and basically advocating on your behalf. This is very, very helpful to have somebody helping you and representing you through the process. They can also help you maximize on your compensation sometimes as well, especially if they're an agency recruiter. They're likely going to get a cut of your salary, not your actual salary, but a percentage based on what it is. So the more you make, the more they earn. So that's a good relationship for you. All right. It's in your best interest and theirs as well to help you get a higher salary. And also, too, a lot of clients are looking to launch a confidential job search. Working with a recruiter one-on-one can be a great way to do that versus, broadcasting something on social media. It's a more offline kind of way to launch a job search. So it can help with confidentiality as well. All right. So here's a few things that a recruiter cannot do for you. They cannot guarantee you a job. They can open the door, they can advise you and support you, but they cannot guarantee you a job. They also cannot read every single resume that is sent to them. They receive hundreds or more, and it's just not possible. They are not likely to really give you advice about a job search or career change. It's really just not what they do. You might find some people who are kind enough to do that, but overall, they're not really there to coach you too much. And they cannot respond to every email. I wish they could. And I'd love to say that I have always, in my recruiting days, replied and given timely feedback to every single candidate. I'm sure I haven't. It's hard to do. You've got a lot of names you're balancing in your head, a lot of open requisitions. You have to prioritize. Sometimes it is very hard to give every candidate really timely feedback consistently every time. You should try as a recruiter. Some companies, again, do better than others, but we unfortunately, just realistically, I don't think we can have the expectation that they're going to reply all the time to every email. Just like you, they have to prioritize their inbox, and some things they just won't get to. All right. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope that at least gave you some insights into the different types of recruiters and how you can approach having a relationship with them. I do think that it's a worthwhile strategy to add into your job search. We can help you at Career Uprising as well. As I mentioned, we have a service that will actually connect you right to them and do all of the work for you. So if you are busy and job searching and not finding the time to do this research and make these connections, we might be able to help you with that. All right. But as always, you guys can learn more about me on LinkedIn or at careeruprising.com. I'll have another show coming out in 2 weeks. Thanks, guys. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com, the best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.